So today I'm doing something a bit different from, what I usually do to the regular Spider-Man content. And I'm gonna be, this video is basically, it's gonna be a series. And I'm gonna make Johnny Storm's costume from the new Fantastic Four movie because I really like it and I think it looks cool. So I wanted to make it. This is from another project. So in this video I'm going to do the actual bodysuit, and then the next video maybe I'll do the gloves and boots and the belt and all the other little bits that go on it. But yeah, so in this video I'm going to do the bodysuit. I have fabrics here. I'll put links to these fabrics in the description because I think they're quite accurate. I'm not going for like a replica or anything. However, I think they look pretty similar to the movie ones. They're a bit darker, but I don't care. So the first step is going to be to trace the pattern onto the fabric and then cut the fabric out. The pattern I'm using is designed by Deca, and it's a Power Ranger pattern. So I recently made a Green Ranger suit. You can see the helmet for it there. So I just use that and modify it for whatever suit I need now. I'll put the link in the description to where you can actually buy the pattern, or you can just make your own pattern. It's not that hard. I'm lazy. So let's do that. Okay, so as I said, the first step is tracing the pattern onto fabric. It would help if I actually got my pattern out. It's the wrong drawer. Okay, so this is the arm because it says arm. Then this is the front. I'm just going to use this twice for the front and back. It's all cut up into different pieces for another project. Like I said, I'm modifying for whatever suit I'm making, but I just sort of push them together on the fabric. It's fine. And then I'll get the leg pattern out when I get to that. But I'll just cut out my chair fell over. I'll just cut out all the shirt pieces and out. That's what I'll do right now. Let me move that chair. Okay, that's fine now. Okay, so I just need to do there's this part on the suit where there's no texture on the fabric whatsoever, so I'm just going to cut out where I think that would be. I should do it like that because it says fabric. Fabric chalk, no. Chalk. There we go. It's beautiful stuff. I love it. Well, I love it as much as you can love chalk without it being like a weird obsession sort of thing. So that's done. I just need to do it again. I've made this, as you can see, longer than the actual pattern itself. That's just because this is kind of, if I was to do it this size, it would be very, very short on me. So I need to make it longer because I'm not after a crop top Johnny Storm. Now I'm just gonna pin it together so it doesn't move when I cut it. Then I'm gonna cut it because I need to cut it. Invest in some nice fabric scissors. They'll save your life. Well, they won't save your life in any scenario really, but they'll help you cut fabric better. the shirts will cut out, well, everything apart from the arms. And that bit I said about where there aren't any details, so let's do the arms. Here's the arm again. Look, it says arms. That's how we know. Yeah. So with the arms, with this suit in general, I'm trying to make it like a specific kind of fit. I don't want it to be tight like a Spider-Man suit, but I don't want it baggy either, because it is a sweater. So I'm gonna try and do it like, I'm also doing it like separate shirt and leggings, kind of like how you see in the trailer, like Johnny's just wearing the leggings and the t-shirt. So that's what I'm going for. That's the kind of thing I'm trying to emulate here. Well, emulate is, I don't know if that's the right word. Replicate. Oh, sorry, I burped. Replicate. That might be it. God knows. I don't. Always add a little bit extra for your seam allowance, otherwise you'll have nowhere to sew and it will be far too small. I've kicked over a bag. It's got 5 minutes, I swear to God I'll sort that out one day. Ow! Oh yeah, where was I? Yeah, you want to add extra fabric down here for the arm, otherwise it's going to be a little bit too short on your arm, and you don't want that because you'll look like an idiot. Now, in the photo that I'm going to put on screen now, in the magical world of editing, you will see that on like the wrists there's this little bit of white. I don't think I'm going to bother doing that because that's going to be covered by the gloves anyways. What I'm going to do is add a little thumb loop so that when I'm wearing the gloves, it will never come up and my skin won't be visible at all. Hi, I'm doing a voiceover now. This is me just sort of unpinning and unfolding the fabric I cut. I also cut out that one non-detailed strip of camera because it's just a strip. And now this is just me pinning that to the top piece, and then in the next clip I'm just going to sew it together, and it's just me sewing a straight line. Then after that I'm pinning it to the bottom piece, which you'll see, and again it's just me sewing it together. There I am sewing it together. It's just me sewing a straight line, and then I do the same for the bottom, and I do that exact same thing twice on both the front and the back piece. I didn't record me sewing the front and the back piece. This is just one of those pieces because it is exactly the same process for both. Okay, so now I have like both the front and the back piece sewn together. I need to actually sew those to each other, so I'm just pinning the shoulder parts together, and I'm just going to sew those two lines together, and that will give us the opening to sew the arms on. So I'm just like laying them out flat, pinning them together, taking my time. That's why it's all so sped up. Now I'm sewing it together. Now in this clip I'm pinning the arm piece to the shirt. It looks really complicated to sew together, but it really isn't. I did like a whole segment explaining how to do it. That's the next part, I think. Okay, I'm actually not doing like a voiceover for this bit. I'm gonna try to explain it because the arm can be, it's really easy, but if you've not done it before, it looks really hard. it's not, don't worry. So I have it all, you know, like pinned like that, and I only use one for the arms because I'll show you why, you know. Obviously if you want to use more, I'm not going to stop you. Okay, so what you'll do is sew it like that, and then just bring it round and sort of straighten it out like that as you're sewing, and it'll be fine. Trust me. So let me try to demonstrate. Yeah, I'm fine. Okay. And as you get here, bring it round like that. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. There. Oh, sorry. Okay, so then that part is all sewn together. I'm using black thread because I don't have any blue right now, but if you have blue, use blue, and you can see, you know, it's all fine. It's not like all bumpy or anything. And don't worry if these don't line up. I don't think it matters, like at all. It lines up here though, which is nice. But yeah, see how that's all nice now? So then when we get to the other side, what I'll do is, instead of sewing it like through this way, because I'd have to sort of do it from here to here, and I'd like to do it from the middle outwards. I'm just going to turn it round so that it's like, sorry, the wind's blowing my door, so that it's like this, and you'll see what I mean. So I'm going to unpin it now because I don't need it pinned anymore. And yeah, line everything up. And what I'll do very quickly is actually get my scissors. 1 second. Right, scissors. And I'm gonna go just trim this a little bit. Otherwise, it's gonna be like really difficult to sew through. There we go. Okay, so now that'll be easier to sew through. And then just line up the pieces like this. And then you sew it, which I'll show you how. Oh, my machine's come on thread. I'll be back once I fix that. I'm back. So the fabric in there, sort of where you left off from the last seam. And oh, sorry. Now, it can be a bit tedious, and you can use as many pins as you like. I just find it easier to do the arms without them. Like, it just makes that process easier for me. But most other areas I will use pins. But you just go. except you've got to do it more because you need to see the arm piece underneath and can't. So you've got to stop every so often. It's honestly just like sewing one big straight line. It's really, really simple, but it looks complicated because there's like two curves and they're like opposite curves trying to go together like that, if that makes sense. And it looks really complex, but it's really not. You'll be fine. This is where I go on about how easy it is, then horribly mess it up. And that's one arm complete. Wait, that's the wrong way around. Hold on, let me back you up a second. There you go. So you can see that's one arm sewn onto the suit. So that's awesome. So I'll do the other arm and then it'll be time to cut out the white pieces. I'm not going to show doing the other arm because it's exactly the same as doing this. So, you know, just watch this segment as many times as you need. Okay, it's all laid out flat, well, as flat as I can get it, so I have paper and I'm gonna sort of trace out the shape I'm gonna use. Oh, this is gonna be hard for I thought. I really couldn't figure out what to do, so I just ended up using the original piece I used for the blue sections and just modified it slightly for the white sections. I don't really know how to explain it, that's just what I did. And I cut them out and I, you know, sewed them on. Grab everything I need. I'll work out the whole collar thing later. That can be something I'll do later, unless I do it like, I don't know. Okay, what I'll do is I'll add a collar to this, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, and that's okay. The fabric chalk stained the fabric. I'm so annoyed. I tried washing it, it wouldn't come out. It was my mistake. I used red chalk on white fabric, but I thought it would just come straight off. I also forgot the white fabric was like super see-through. Oops. But that's okay. I think one of the arm pieces is good. The front and back pieces are not. So I'm just gonna cut out the front and back again, and if I have to do another arm piece, I'll do that tomorrow. I'm not gonna show me cutting that out again. Well, I didn't show me cutting it out the first time because it's just cutting, but I'm not gonna show me like tracing it and doing the shapes again because that's boring. So I will be back when I've got all my white pieces cut out and I'm able to pin them to the blue. That's the next step, is pinning them to the blue. Okay, I've recut everything out, it's there. So I'm gonna pin it all to the shirt now. So it's quite quite simple. All I'm going to do is take the fabric like this. I need to get my pins. And just sort of lay it out how it needs to be laid out, and then sort of fold over the edge like that and pin it, because then that gives a nice clean edge and it won't fray or anything. Because otherwise, see here, it's kind of messy on the edge. Let me just make sure you can see it. But here where it's kind of all frayed on the edge, just fold that over and stitch it on and it will be fine. I will probably speed this part up. It's just fold over the edge, pin it down, and then repeat on the rest of the pieces. Okay, so I have all the white on here, like on the arms. I think I'm going to sew the arms first and then attempt to do the parts around here, because I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, now that I've got all the arm pieces sewn, you're just going to have to bear with me here. It's a pillow. And I'm going to put this over the pillow. This will all make sense, trust me. I'm going to put this over the pillow to do the front and back pieces, because I just feel like that'd be easier. Helps me kind of visualise where they actually go. Okay, we'll ignore these pieces for now. Where are the front and back pieces? Good God, I've lost them. Oh no, they're here. What's that? Oh, okay. So, this is just going to be plonked there. Like that. So that goes there. So now I need to sort of just work out how. Give me like 10 minutes. Okay, I have a better plan. I'm going to sew these together first, then kind of droop them over that. It'll all make sense. Give me like 2 minutes. Okay, it's all sewn together now. So I'm just going to plonk it over this. This was a really bad idea. And genuinely, there is nothing more I can do to this than just hope for the absolute best. If it goes wrong, and I can try again, and if nothing else, I would have learnt something. So before I sew the neck together, I'm going to add this little triangle to sort of extend it and make it wider, because it looks like it's kind of going to be too tight. Now, usually where I'd sew it like usually I'd get these parts here and I'd sew it together, you know, right sides together, boom, boom, sew down there, fold it over, do the same thing. I'm actually going to do it from the inside because this has got to be folded back like that, and if I was to do it how I normally do it, then the seam's actually going to be visible. So if I do it sort of inverted, then it won't. That makes sense in my head, I promise. I don't know if it makes sense when I'm explaining it, but you'll kind of see it anyway. So I'm not going to bother pinning this. Ended up pinning it. With this neck piece, I'm going to sew it the same as I did for this piece here, sort of, instead of flipping it inside out. Sew it on the outside like this. Now, the last thing to do is sew the red tape the full thing together, and then I'll put it on and make sure it looks okay. So let's pin that now. So this is it all sewn together. I think it looks very good. Obviously there's some tweaks that need to be made on the side. I need to cut these parts off. But I think overall it looks pretty nice, and you can see the right there in the folded over neck. I think it looks very nice. I'm gonna put the emblem on there soon. I'm gonna do the leggings in the next part because this video is really long and I'd like to get it out soon. Yeah, I just need to fix up a few bits with the shirt, and it's all done. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one where I make the leggings.